Fire on the mountain, fire on the mountain. What does it mean? Is it literal or symbolic? You will know everything in today's capsule summary. Hello, this is Hina from Team Test. How have you been? And before I start with today's lecture, a very good news for RPSC aspirants. Well, we are starting with the coaching of assistant professorship for RPSC. So if you're interested, keep coming to our channel. Of course, details you will get soon. Okay. Now, who has written Fire on the Mountain? It is by Anita Desai, an Indian author primarily of children's books. Anita is born in the year 1937. She is still with us. And her most important and most loved work is Fire on the Mountain, which was published in the year 1977, because of which she got two prestigious awards. First, Sahitya Academy Award, and second, Winfred Holtby Memorial Prize. Both of them she got in the year 1978. A little bit about the structure of Fire on the Mountain. This novel is divided into three parts. First, Nanda call at Carignano. Second, Raka comes to Carignano. And third, Ila Das leaves Carignano. And now you'll be wondering, what is Carignano? Why is G silent? Well, this is an Italian word. Basically, Carignano is the name of the house where Nanda lives. It is a colonial mansion, a very dilapidated, gloomy, secluded mansion on a hill. It's on a hilltop in Kasoli. Kasoli, you know, it is a very good tourist destination. It is a town in Himachal Pradesh, okay? It's near Shimla. So the setting of this novel is Carignano, and it talks about lives of three women, Nanda, Raka, Ila. Okay, this definitely belongs to the feminist literature genre also. And of course, this is Indian writing in English. So we will understand about the lives of these three women, how they are suffering, what is their psyche, what is their mindset. First part, I will talk about Nanda Kaul. Very interesting, you should know. Nanda Kaul is an elderly woman who lives alone on the hills. Quote, to be left alone and pursue her own secrets of life among the rocks and pines. She prefers solitude among cicadas and hills. She has forced herself into this gloomy and dark life. Quote, be a charred tree trunk in the forest. Cicadas it's a breed of insect, okay? So basically, Nanda lives alone here up on the hills in Carignano. She does not invite any of her family's members, nobody, okay? She wants a life of solitude. Why? We'll come to know. Now, Nanda's trauma as a housewife in the past, quotes from the book. The old house, the full house, when she was the vice chancellor's wife, and at the hub of a small but intense busy world, had not pleased her. Its crowding had stifled her. Too many trays of tea would have to be made and carried to her husband's duty, to her mother-in-law's bedroom, to the veranda that was the gathering place for all, at all times of the day. Too many meals, too many dishes on the table, too much to wash up after. Her home became her prison, and she was craving for a shelter. Imagine when your home becomes your prison and you want to move out for shelter. That was what was the condition of Nanda. You'll wonder, what was the tragedy she faced as a wife or as a woman? I'll tell you. After her husband's lifelong extramarital affair with a teacher named Miss Davidson, and this lifelong extramarital affair ended with his death, Nanda sighed after her husband's death. Discharge me. I have discharged all my duties. Discharge me. This shows anguish and agony in the deserted life of an old widow. Such was her condition. She knew about the affair her husband had with Miss Davidson. She called Miss Davidson home for badminton. She called her to stay for the night. She left her room so that Miss Davidson could enter. That is what the life of this wife was. And after all this, the vice chancellor, the husband, still wanted Nanda to be by his side as his wife, as a trophy wife, as an ideal wife. Excuse me. So, because of all this, she had children, many grandchildren, lot of duties, all day making tea. just going to her husband, to her mother-in-law, to the children, to the grandchildren. She was fed up. She was never treated as a woman. Forget about being treated as a queen by the husband. She was never even treated as a gentle human being or a woman by her husband. Okay, now you got the past. Now let's come to the present day. Present day in Carignano, a postman arrives up the hill at Nanda's house. Nanda feels disturbed even by the postman's presence in the vicinity. Nanda's cook Ramlal brings the letter to her. It is from Nanda's daughter Alka. So Nanda has a daughter, Alka. Alka informs her mother that Raka, her great granddaughter, would be coming to stay with her for some time. Oh God. So now Nanda has a visitor. She does not want visitors. But then her great granddaughter, Raka, एक बार थोड़ा family line समझो. Nanda is the mother of Alka. Alka is the mother of Tara, and Tara is the mother of Raka. This makes Raka the great granddaughter of Nanda. Easy. Nanda is perturbed, disturbed, as she has separated herself from her family, bonds, and duties after her husband's death. Now here a character is introduced called Ila Das. Now remember Ila, a very important character, because Ila is the childhood friend. She was with Nanda in school as well as in college. Ila has physical deformity. She's very short. She's short-heighted. She never had a good life. There were 5 siblings, 3 brothers and 2 daughters. The daughters were neglected by the parents, and the brothers, they just they were spoiled brats, because of which the family money was all flown. Okay, so the house lived in extreme poverty. And then finally, basically, Nanda suggested that Ila should become a social welfare officer. And after this, Ila's life improved a little bit because she started working for the society. So this is Ila. Okay, so Ila is Nanda's friend. So now, after, Nanda hears that Raka is going to come to stay with her, Ila, Nanda's friend from school and college, is a social welfare officer, as I told you. And Ila telephones Nanda to meet, sometime. And this irritates Nanda more. She does not want to meet anybody. Raka is soon to arrive in Carignano. She has been recently divorced. So now, Nanda sends Ramlal to pick Raka up while she prepares for her arrival in a half-hearted manner. Good. With this, we are done with part 1 of Fire on the Mountain. Now let's go to part 2. A little bit about Raka. I told you about Nanda. Abhi, let's talk about Raka. Raka comes to Carignano, that is the name. Raka receives a cold welcome from her great-grandmother, who leaves her alone to tour the house and the hills nearby. Imagine you are a guest at somebody's house and they don't even greet you. They leave you alone. Okay, they're like, you by yourself. We don't care. That is how Nanda treats Raka. But surprisingly, Raka does not mind. She climbs a nearby hillock and explores the surrounding hills independently. This becomes her daily routine. She joins Nanda only at tea time, and then she quickly rushes away the rest of the day. She has her own imaginary world. Raka is the child of nature. She climbs the hill, hunts for food and berries, fantasizes ghosts, hears noises. She loves to spend time with nature. She has chosen solitude by choice, not by force like Nanda. Okay, Nanda has chosen solitude by force, but Raka has chosen solitude by choice. Did you understand this? Now, although Nanda was craving for such a privacy that Raka gave her, okay, this is like after some time, the two women are together. Nanda wanted this kind of life, no, that nobody should disturb her, and Raka was actually not disturbing her. But surprisingly, Nanda feels the absence of Raka when she's not around. Nanda starts missing her great-granddaughter when she's not around. Can you imagine? Of course, this is human heart. We all have emotions. Even if, we have aloofed ourselves from the world, we are social animals, right? After tea one afternoon, Nanda insists Raka to walk with her to the top of the mountain. Raka agrees but reluctantly. Nanda realizes that Raka is as isolated and barren as her. Such a seclusion has led to both of their loneliness. So Nanda suggests, imagine the suggestion, that Raka should stay with her permanently and enroll in a school in Kasoli, basically near Kasoli, a boarding school. But Raka rejects the idea. She does not want to join anything. Why? Because she wants to learn from nature. Raka feels that nature is the best teacher. Why should I go to some place to learn things? Nature will teach me everything. Now, in incidents, you should know this. A few nights later, Raka sneaks out of the house and she enters a club in Kasoli called Kasoli Club. There she is literally taken aback, or she's shocked by the bright lights and the drunk atmosphere. It's not very jovial. She recollects her past, her traumatic past. And what is Raka's past? Her father, her abusive father, used to beat her mother violently. So Raka has seen physical abuse, physical assault in her life since she was a child. And this is what brought to her this belief of seclusion, loneliness, or being close to nature. Okay? Because of all this, she leaves the party and sobs back home. She sees fire from a distance. Now, you know about mountain fire, right? Wherever there are mountains, greenery, there's sometimes a forest fire. So basically, she sees this fire from the distance, and this also disturbs her. Okay? Now, later, Nanda receives a letter from Tara. Who is Tara? Raka's mother, remember? Now, Tara has suffered a nervous breakdown in Geneva. Basically, she had gone to Geneva to start afresh her relationship with her husband Rakesh, but it didn't work out. And therefore, Tara has a nervous breakdown. And therefore, she cannot call for Raka anytime soon, which means Raka has to stay with Nanda for some more time. And this is what Nanda wants, right? So, to lure Raka into staying with her, Nanda starts fabricating stories. Here you will have story within story narrative. Basically, Nanda tells her stories. They are not completely truth, okay? It's like a merging of truth and fiction. Something important can be asked. She tells stories of Marco Polo and she tells stories of Kashmir, okay? For Kashmir, Nanda tells Raka that when she was a little girl, she had this big house in Kashmir which had a private zoo in the backyard. Can you imagine a private zoo in a house? And this zoo had all animals. It had Himalayan bear, tigers, cats, monkeys, etc. And Raka says, Kuch bhi nani ma. If you had such a good house, why did you leave that and come here and stay alone? Okay. She was fabricating stories just to attract Raka and just to, tell her that stay with me, we'll have a good time. But Raka withdraws herself in the wide stretch of Kasoli. Is gal ko to koi fark hi nahi padta. She's coming home, going to the hills, coming home, staying in the hills, always out in the nature. Okay, the more Raka ignores her, the more Nanda craves for her attention. Nanda to Raka, quote from the book: Raka, you are really a great grandchild of mine, aren't you? You are like me than any of my children or grandchildren. You are exactly like me, Raka. Now, here, Anita Desai comments, you should know again from the book. If Nanda Kaul was a recluse out of vengeance for a long life of duty and obligation, her great granddaughter was a recluse by nature, by instinct. She had not arrived at this condition by a long route of rejection and sacrifice. She was born in it simply. I told you before, right? Basically, Desai is saying that Nanda became a recluse out of vengeance for life, the bad life she faced as a wife and a woman. But Raka has chosen this life out of just birth. She wants to live this life, okay, of seclusion, of being in the forest, of appreciating nature, beauty, right? Of standing, staring, relaxing, enjoying the recreation. This is also very important these days. I feel everyone is running, everyone has something on the mind. Even if you tell somebody to sit quietly for 5 minutes, they will either start doing something on their phone, they will either start thinking something about their life or future or past or present. There is no time to sit and relax, right? So I think being very close to nature will actually help us meditate about our life, right? With this, we are done with part 2 of the book. Now let's come to part 3 of Fire on the Mountain. This is the last part. Its name is Iladas leaves Carignano. Iladas, the best friend of Nanda. She does not leave Carignano. Let me tell you, something very unfortunate will happen. Iladas will be murdered. She will be killed. Ila, Nanda's friend, pays a visit to her. The three women, that is Nanda, Ila, and Raka, drink tea together. While Ila gabs on her past relationship, past friendship, and jovial days with Nanda, she keeps on telling Raka, "Do you know, Raka? Nanda and I are such good friends. We know each other from this time. We have done this together, that together, blah, 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 blah." Raka feels uncomfortable. She dislikes details about other people's lives. She's like, "I don't care. Why are you telling me all this?" Now, after tea, two important things happen. First, Ila decides to walk through the bazaar before heading home. And second, Raka steals matchstick from cook Ramlal and heads out towards the hills. Now, something bad is coming. Please listen. Shockingly, Ila is attacked, raped, and brutally murdered by a man named Preet Singh. Preet was mad at Ila since she stopped him from marrying away his young daughter. I told you Ila is a social welfare officer. Now, while on duty, she saved many young girls from getting married. So, because of saving one girl, the father of this girl is mad, okay? And the father, that is Preet Singh, murders Ila. When Nanda comes to know about her friend's murder, she is numb. In fact, she is called to identify her dead body. Quote, "No, it's a lie. It cannot be. Ila was not raped, not dead. It was all a lie." Nanda is overfilled with grief and despair. And at this moment, Nanda has a spout of realization. She has too many feelings entering inside her when she hears about Ila's murder. She has this spout of realization, which is she feels that her self-inflicted motivations and seclusion are her ways of getting away from her true life. This is not what is her true life, staying alone on the hills. Just at this juncture, Raka enters and quickly shows Nanda out of the window. Remember, she took a matchstick. She says, "Nani, look, I have set the fire. I have set the forest on fire." What does Raka say? "Look, Nani, I have set the forest on fire." Has she set it on fire? Of course not. A matchstick will not be enough to set fire in the forest. It is that natural process. The novel ends with black smoke covering the mountain as a cloud. And now you will think, what is the meaning of this fire? Well, this fire literally is symbolic as well as literal. Literal because the fire is seen, symbolic because it has meanings. What are the probable meanings? Let's discuss. First, this fire literally means the fire lying suppressed in Nanda's heart is suddenly set ablaze by the shocking death of Ila Das. Or second meaning of this fire, Nanda wants to destroy the suffocation and forced seclusion within and find a new life by burning in this fire. Third, this fire will destroy a world where a woman cannot hope to be happy naturally, right? And fourth meaning, life is not meant to escape reality, but to face it. You have to face the fire. I mean, whatever meaning you feel suitable, you can accept it. And this is what Fire on the Mountain is. I loved it. I hope you did too. And very soon, what are we starting with? You check out our shorts, you will come to know. We are ending with Indian literature series and we're starting with another series. Which one is it? A short has been uploaded. You should go and check it out. This is Hina from Team Test. Thank you so much for being with us. Bye-bye. Take care of yourself.